Yeah.
Four, three, two, one, action.
Hello, viewers. Welcome back to my show right after break. Keymax Realty America Shopner Bari. As usual, our guest is Kudrat Tura.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay. Hundreds of home inspection you do, right?
Yes.
So we were talking foundation.
Yeah. Foundation. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yes.
so we completed roof. We did
Yeah.
foundation.
The foundation.
Let's
is-
talk about plumbing.
Sure. Plumbing, electrical, we can jump. We can talk all day, to be honest. But
Yeah, the plumbing.
we're gonna run out of time. No, the whole thing. It's a lot of components in the house. A lot of components. Yeah. The
We want to
plumbing.
do
Yeah.
the major components.
Sure. Yeah. Major company. Yeah. So the plumbing. Yeah. The plumbing. It's two type of thing comes to my mind right away. Right. Like a water supply, drainage, where the water is gonna go to. And water heater. That's also under the plumbing, by the way. Water
Wow.
heaters.
Water heater.
Yeah, it's under the plumbing.
I didn't know
And-
that.
Yeah, it is.
Wow.
Yeah. So definitely, as soon as I get into the house and start inspecting, I inspect all the sinks, right? Turn on all the water, turn on all the shower water, bath, all the waters, just to see the pressures. And I have a pressure meter, make sure the pressure is right. Usually 40 to 60 psi, it's okay. And I measure that, and also when I look for any leaks, any signs, any oxidation on the copper pipes, I identify the materials of the plumbings, water supplies, and drainage systems.
So
and
what
stuff
is
like that.
what is oxidation on copper pipe? Explain to my audience.
Sure, yeah. Oxidation. Oxidation is a green thing on the copper pipes, right?
Yes.
It becomes green. It's not, everyone's seen a metal, right? A metal becomes rusty, brown,
Right,
gold,
right.
that's rust. Oxidation is basically green things on the copper pipes are basically rusting of a copper pipe, basically. That happens from condensation on the air, that happens exposure to water, that's when oxidation happens, Sometimes it's just, that's why copper pipes recommend to be insulated.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not PICs. PICs ones,
Yeah.
like more newer ones. Those sometimes doesn't need to be insulated, just because it's not getting oxidated, it's not getting rusted and stuff like that. So that's that. It's rusting of a copper pipe.
So on plumbing, you have to turn on every single.
Every single faucet, every single
The flush, every single-
I turn on all of it. I look at the downspouts. I mean, not a downspout. I'm going back to the roof. I turn on all the faucets and drainage system. Make sure there are not leaks. There's no potential leaks. And make sure plumbing is correct. And I identify the main water entry and main water shut off for the house.
So one of the plumber advised me, like for my house, I'm saying my life experience, because I have a lot of big trees around my house.
Yeah.
So he suggested me that every year I do the
Scope.
main
Yeah.
because of the
Scope.
roots.
Plumbing scope.
Yeah.
Yes, that's inspection. That's the thing. Yeah, that's recommended also for if you see a lot of trees around your house and stuff like that, and the roots are they could go through concrete. So you'll be
Yeah.
surprised what they go through. So they can crack that pipes too. So. Yeah, that's recommended. That depends on the area and things like that. That's recommended. Yeah, recommended.
So plumbing, when you go, you turn on all the water. If you see that it's not going, there is somewhere some clog, right?
Well, when I turn on the water, if there's no water, then yeah, I look at if it's shut off. A lot of times I don't turn them on. It's a liability thing. But if the homeowner or whoever willing to turn that on, that's fine. They can turn it on. I can continue testing it, right? And I do. If there's no water, if there's water everywhere else and there's no water in one area, it's most likely it's turned off.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be a huge deal. But again, it needs to be turned on so I can inspect it. Yeah. And what else I can talk about?
So what's the worst thing you can find on plumbing?
Worst thing is might be leaky main water entry, main pipe that entering the house. Yeah, you could see sometimes worn out valves, and it's leaking. And that's the main water shut off, that needs to be working properly. For any emergency, you want to shut
Yeah,
that off.
that's the main one.
Yeah, that's the main
And,
one.
you know.
Yeah, you want to shut that off, yeah.
Yeah, and every homeowner, they should know that too.
Oh, yeah, definitely, yeah.
Because if you don't know that, some
You-
problems.
You gotta know. You gotta
Yeah.
know. You gotta know. That's why you hiring a home inspector too. But maybe changing subject, right? That other thing I recommend my clients are show up to the home inspection. Be with the home inspector. You
So-
learn, informative.
And then now from the plumbing to we go heating.
Yeah,
and
let's do the electrical.
Electrical,
Yeah,
yeah.
electrical. Electrical is one of the main component. Also, buyers are concerned about electrical stuff, and electrical. Again, when it comes to electrical, I start my inspection right from outside. From the service drop. Make sure first service drop is properly drip loop. That's where it needs to be kind of hooked like this, so the water doesn't get into the meters and the panels. And the condition of the wire, and make sure that there's a conduit because it's exposed. It's outside. It's exposed to weathering and things like that. And when I go inside each room, I check every outlets.
Every outlet.
Every outlet. I check every outlet, make sure they wire correctly. And
How do you check it?
I have a tester.
So
Just
you
plug
put the
in,
tester.
three-prong tester. Yeah.
Mm.
I plug in. It shows if it's ungrounded, reverse neutral, or if there's even power or not. And I check that, and I check like I said, I've checked every outlets, and then when I go to the basement, like fixtures, outlets, and junction boxes, anything, and everything related to electrical. When I go to the basement, a lot of times it's panels in the basement, and you usually saw panels.
Yeah,
throughout
most of the
house.
time.
Yeah, most of the time in
The
New York
panels in the
City,
basement.
especially in the basement. And I open up the panel. I completely open up the panel. I open the door first. I make sure there's a labelings. Just make sure you got to know what you're turning off.
Yes,
for
yes,
situations. I take out even the whole thing, the whole panel, and see what's inside. Make sure there's the right gauges, breakers are not loose. And the wires not loose, hot wires are not capped. Make sure they're capped. And no double tapping, on the breakers either. Some breakers, it's allowed to be double tapped, but most not. You don't want to put two wires for one breaker. It can get loose and stuff like that, and it's not designed for it. I see that often. And I checked for grounding, proper grounding. I identify what kind of material is being used, Romex, BX, and all that. And I make sure there's no proper access to the panel for emergency cases.
That's
and
very
stuff like that.
important.
Yeah, it's important.
A lot of time you go there, you see so many things.
Oh, so many things. Yeah, like the one time I'll tell you a story. One time I found the panel inside of the kitchen cabinet.
Kitchen cabinet.
It's inside the kitchen cabinet. I had nowhere to find. Nobody knows where the panel is.
And then you found it there.
Yeah, when I was doing the kitchen inspection and cabinets, and here we go.
It's probably outside, but when
I
they were
think-
doing it, they made it look pretty.
Yeah. And I had to go outside just to see where the service drop is. It's like it has to be somewhere over here, but there's a kitchen.
So-
that's not no good. Yeah.
So heating.
Yeah.
So winter time heating is easy. As soon as you walk in, you can see there
Yeah.
is no heat. In
Yeah.
summertime, what do you do?
Summertime, I still turn it on. Hoping it's not 100-degree outside.
That's the right thing to do.
Yeah, I still turn it on.
Let me turn it on, see if it's working. At least.
Yeah, I have infrared camera, so I don't have to touch it. I can do it from the distance and stuff like that. If it's a classical more boiler system, like heats with the water and steam, it's going to be a boiler. And I turn it on. I turn on the thermostat using the thermostat, and if it's hot outside, like you said, and whatever, like imagine it's 80 degree, I try to put 90 degree just to make sure
That's
all the
what- that's
radios are
what-
working. Sometimes I find that all the time some of the radios they don't work. They turn it off, or whatever the case, right? And I put on the report that's one of the radios
So-
not working. And
So we
I-
covered
oh
roofing.
yeah, it's plumbing.
Plumbing,
first.
you have
yeah,
more?
yeah,
Okay.
it's like I check the actual unit. Make sure safety mechanism are working properly. Expansion tank. Pressure relief valves. All that is in working condition. And make sure I look at the condition of the boiler. There's no rust. There's no leaks and all that. Like I pick up on it. I open up the cover also. make sure it's not making weird noises and things like that. Makes everything's on point, you know. And I look at the manufacturing date also. I report to the client also. So you gotta know it's a 50 years old boiler or it's 10 years old boiler. They gotta know that, you know. Yeah.
So you let them know how old is the boiler?
Yeah, I let them know how old.
Usually a boiler is good for like how many years?
Oh, if again, it comes back to maintenance. You know, if maintenance was done on time, properly, you know, serviced by professionals.
I do my house every year. Every year.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, at least yearly. Yearly is recommended.
I have a gentleman. He comes every year. He take care of it.
Excellent. That's excellent. I recommend to every homeowners. You gotta do that.
I do that because I don't have time.
Yeah,
so I pay the money. So
no, that's professionals. They, you know, if you trust a professional, it's good. They
you have to take care of your house.
Definitely, yeah.
Every corner of the house.
You take care of your car. Why not your house? You know.
And you know the good thing, car the value goes down. The
house
value
goes up. Oh yeah.
So
exactly.
car is depreciate.
Yeah.
And house appreciates.
Yeah.
So you have to take care of that. It's even bigger and
100%.
more, right?
100%, yeah. If you take care of like everything else in life, right? If you don't leave it to last minute, it's manageable.
It's manageable.
I'm talking about finance, right?
Oh,
it's manageable. Kudrat. You know, it's manageable. As long as you don't leave it to the whole boiler needs to be replaced. You know, now you gotta spend thousands of dollars. You know.
So what else left on inspection?
Interior, right? I look at the once I enter the house, you know, like walls, ceilings, floors, you know, and cabinets and every rooms, obviously bathrooms, you know, and look at ventilations, you know, make sure it's properly ventilated.
Windows.
Windows, exactly, windows and doors and all that, and attic. I get into attic. You can get a lot of information from the attic also. Make sure attic's properly ventilated and bathroom is properly ventilated, you know, and there's an exhaust system in the bathroom. Some of them they miss. I don't know how they miss it, but it's just the other hand that the exhaust fan it's for moisture, you know. It's a lot of people think it's for
Very
smell
important.
purposes, but it's not. It's just for mostly for moisture, you know. When you take a shower, after shower, you got to turn that on so moisture gets out of the house, you know. You know, so what else we can cover? Yes, overall, this is make sure installations are proper. You know, we use our infrared cameras.
So when you start the inspection,
yeah,
and by the time you end, how long it takes?
It depends on the size of the house, of course.
In average.
And average 1 hour and a half, 2 hours, sometimes a little long. I did inspection yesterday. I took 3 hours. That's close to 5,000 square foot house.
It's huge.
Yeah, it's huge. It's small, mention yeah. Yeah, so it takes longer. That takes longer. They have like 4 heating systems. 4 individual heating systems for that big house.
4 zone.
HVAC system. Yeah. And yeah, it can take long, you know. And once I finish the inspection, I'm the best person knows about the house, you know, more than the homeowner. So you can ask me questions.
That's your profession.
That's my profession. That's what I do.
That's your profession. That's why you license.
Yeah, exactly.
And in America, to get any license is not easy. You have to study.
Oh, yeah.
You have to study. You have to pass the exam.
Yeah.
Then you have to put it on practice to make money, right?
Yeah, sure.
So nothing is easy. So I mean, you learned from bad experience. You didn't do inspection of your own house. Then later you faced a lot of problems.
Yeah.
But how are you paying back? You became a licensed
inspector.
New York licensed inspector, right?
And
you're helping hundreds of people, thousands of people.
Helping people, exactly.
You know?
Yeah, that's what
and you probably did over 200-300 inspection already. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, all the experience you have.
Yeah.
So now, after the inspection done, you make a report.
Yeah, I make a report.
And who do you send it to?
Report. It's my system is very nice. You look me up. Google it. Tura Home Inspections. I'm all over the place on Google, and you can go to my website. You could see my sample reports. Right, everything's automatic. Who gets the report is, of course, client gets the report. The buyer gets the report, and also buyer's agent will get the report because buyer's agent is helping the buyer. So they both get the report a lot of times, and they can, client can share with whoever they want, of course, because they pay for it. That's theirs, you know. It goes to attorney or whoever, yeah. So client gets it, yeah.
So, is it ever happened like you were inspecting a house and it was so disaster that you recommended like it's
Oh,
serious,
it's no good. It's
serious
a
issues.
deal breaker.
No, you cannot tell them buy or don't buy. It's their
Oh
money.
yeah, it's not my.
But you can
yeah.
recommend like houses very severe issues, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I think, and when the house is that severe that you're talking about, regular people, not trained like as me, can pick up on it too. You know, like I do home inspections for investors, for example. I've done it yesterday. One, the house is vacant and stuff like that. You know, I still give my recommendations, my thoughts and stuff like that. I do regular home inspections, but nobody lives there. It's severely damaged. Foundation's cracked. You know, it's done. You know, you could tell it. But if that comes to, if somebody wants to live there, you know, it needs a lot of work. It needs a lot of love, or it's a lot of work before they move in, because you know it's water damage or foundation issues and stuff like that.
So I guess we covered a lot of things today.
Yeah, yeah. So we can talk all day. There's a lot.
I
You can
mean-
get into details and stuff. Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
So before ending the show,
yeah.
do you want to share anything important
Sure.
to my audience?
Sure, yeah. So I would say not to skip inspection, right? That's number one. You don't want to skip inspection. That's obvious reasons, right? You making a biggest purchase in your life, and then you're making that purchase not knowing about the house that you're buying. You know, I think that's silly. You know, you want to know about the house, and the one professional who can tell you about the house is the home inspection services. You know, so you hire me, and we'll tell you the general condition of the home inspection. You know, all the issues, all the defects that possibly could come up in the future. You know, it's all about transparency. You know, you love the area, you love the house, you love the size of the house. You know, those are great. Those are great. That's number one. You know, you gotta know those stuff. But also for me, the most important is the condition of the house. You know, make sure there's no surprises. Make sure you know about it. You know the boiler is very old, 30 years old. I know they last long, but it's 30 years old. If it breaks tomorrow, you cannot blame anyone. It's 30 years old. You know, and yeah. So do not skip the home inspection. You know.
That's do not
Yeah.
skip the
Do
home
not
inspection.
skip the home inspection.
So Kudrat, thank you for coming
Thank
today.
you so much. Yeah.
Hello viewers, we have to end our show today, and everyone who were staying with us watching this show on the TV channel or YouTube or Facebook Live, thank you very much. Stay with us, and next time we'll have another new guest. Till then, good night.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Was it good?
Yeah.
It was all right.
We want to